Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and thank you for joining me today to talk about corrosion under insulation and how we will shift from a reactive approach to a preventive approach in a smarter and more efficient way. So you see here the picture behind me. It's a perfect piping system, CUI free. The sky is blue, sun is shining. If you could raise your hand and tell me, like, this is what you aspire and this is what you look for in your piping system. And I believe everybody agrees. However, we end up with facilities like this, with corrosion spreading in many locations, where we spend around 30% of our maintenance budget to mitigate CUI and to combat and see how we can solve corrosion under insulation problems. We also spend time and money in typical inspection way, where we look how we will find CUI, where we'll figure out where CUI is located in our system, and how we innovate to find where CUI is located. Eventually, do we solve it? Do we mitigate it? It goes to the register. We either solve it or not. So traditional ways help us in finding CUI on hot applications and cold applications where you have sub-ambient conditions. It's highly costly to put scaffolding, manpower, lots of labor cost to find where CUI is located. And we as engineers, whether in inspection and reliability, we spend lots of time to see and look where to find CUI with something in our mind that we want to prevent it, and we want to keep our schedule tight and inspection very light, and to manage all those aging facilities that we have here in the region with one thing in our mind: not to compromise safety. So the real problem, we are investing in a reaction, not in prevention. We are investing a lot in many inspection techniques and forgetting about that we could mitigate CUI from the source. We came here with one value proposition, which is pyrogel and cryogel. It's an insulation technology that prevents CUI from the source. Once it's installed from day one, it will stop CUI and it will stop the spread of CUI in all your facility. And we will tell you how it works. It requires less material because it's the thermal conductivity, it's much lower than all the thermal conductivity of available insulation material in the market. It's hydrophobic. It doesn't let water pass through to touch the surface of your equipment. Thus, it mitigates any humidity that touch the surface from day 0 up to 30 years. It's also easy to install and easy to remove. It promotes a circular economy where you could use that insulation and reuse it after every turnaround event that you have in your facility. We'll show you today some success story that were done here locally in the kingdom and around us. The video here we're showing, it's an online insulation upgrade in the United Kingdom. It's not relevant to the region, but I found it nice to show. So the first one, we work with a facility in Yambu where they had condensation issues that led to CUI events. So we upgraded the system by using Cryogel Z, which showed that they could not only mitigate CUI, they could reduce the energy consumption that they have on the facility to refrigerate that line. So instead of spending higher cost to keep the line operating at minus 38 degrees, they could spend much less when they upgrade to Cryogel. The second one is for an ethylene line in the UAE with one of the oil and gas facilities, where we replaced online a cold insulation system and upgraded with cryogel to eliminate any CUI risk. The last one is a CUI issue that was spreading a lot on one of the de-ethanizers in Qatar, where we upgraded the existing system with pyrogel to mitigate CUI and to provide fire protection to the equipment. So when we want to look at CUI and how to solve it, we have to work beyond immediate saving. We have to look to the future. We have to see how we can solve that problem for the next 30 years. So we look at reducing the life cycle, extending the asset lifetime, and reduce any emergency maintenance that could come with additional cost to the facility. When we look at standards and how they look at CUI, from NACE, from the European Federation, and from API, they all look at only one thing in all their writings, which is water. As you could see, we took experts from snapshots from each, and we found that water is mentioned everywhere. So once you stop the water immersion in any insulation system, you could mitigate CUI. And thus you could get sustainability benefits and saving and reducing your carbon footprint, that in addition to mitigating CUI, by reducing your energy consumption at the facility, especially with cold application, where you could reduce the heat loss and heat gain in a system, reduce your energy consumption, and contribute to your plant sustainability goals as per the Kingdom efforts for 2030. This is a graph from a recent project we completed, and it shows when the surface temperature variance on a cryogenic application, that's the touch temperature, where it goes from 20 degrees down to 1 degree. That shows and highlights the heat gain that you have in the system and how much you are contributing in expanding your energy consumption at the facility. Calculating that towards cryogel, which is a material that you could reuse for the future, the temperature has reduced, that's an example, from $14 to $4 per meter. So we have to look at the strategic shift, as we said earlier, from a reactive to a preventive maintenance. The graph highlights the years of services after you put an insulation system. Everything is good. CUI starts kicking in from year 5, give or take, and then you will see increase in energy cost. You increase your inspection cost to find where CUI is, and then there's a process instability that you have. And all these costs could be mitigated once you could go for pyrogel or cryogel, which could lead to a potential and significant savings in your cost. So when you look at it, you have to look at the ROI for the next 20, 30 years, and not immediate savings. We have a message, final message to give you is to insulate, to eliminate, to prevent CUI. Look at your early shutdowns, to use pyrogel or cryogel, prioritize high risk and high value assets to solve these problems, and begin your long-term savings now. We worked at Aspen Aerogels with companies around us, from Saudi Aramco, SABIC here in the Kingdom, and many organizations around us. We are at booth 6. We still have 2 hours to finish the event. If you would like to know more, please visit us. Any question?
Assalamu alaikum. This is Ahmed Sharqawi from Sharq Sabit. Thank you, Mr. Hussein, for the presentation. Actually, I don't have question, but I want to recognize and admit that your material we have studied deeply in Sharq, and I do believe it will add a lot in terms of energy saving, efficiency, and even mitigating the CUI. And now we are in phase to get it approved in SABIC engineering standard to start deploying in affiliates, inshallah. So I believe whoever doesn't know about the material, it will add a lot. It is something different than the traditional insulation material. And now I believe worldwide trending its sustainability and the energy saving and upgrading for such a material, it will add a lot for this field. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Ahmed.
Yes, thank you very much for great presentation. Just want to ask, how do you incorporate heat tracing within the system? And would you have any inspection windows for future inspection of the asset?
Thank you for your questions. The insulation material we developed comes in a blanket format, which you could wrap it around any surface or any equipment with heat tracing or without heat tracing. We are working on a recent project where they have steam heat tracing for one of the sulfur recovery unit, where they will apply pyrogel on top of the system. So you have the tracing system and it's wrapped with insulation material to make sure that the temperature doesn't fluctuate. Anything else, guys? Don't be shy. Thank you.